Good morning, Columbus. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's daily dose of digital Torah inspiration here at Sinai Studios, Judaism Today. One of the concepts in Judaism, one of the institutions in Judaism that we're most familiar with, that's as, ancient as Jewish history itself, is the concept of a shul. We all go to shul, we all have a shul, we're connected to a shul, right? It's day in, day out. It's a concept we're used to. We support our synagogue, we're in membership, it's a dues, right, etc. Shul dinners, right? Shul is a concept as storied and as old and as the exile itself, as they say, as long as the gullus is. And sometimes I think we forget just how radical a concept it is, and its brilliance and its specialness is rooted in this week's Torah. The Torah says, go create a mishkan, go create a traveling temple in the desert for God. That's the mitzvah of this week's parsha. The central mitzvah, go build like a mini Beis Hamikdash. Why do we do that? What is the purpose? Says the Torah, something unbelievable. Why do this? V'asuli mikdash v'shachanti b'sochai. Because when you build a Beis Hamikdash, when you build a temple, then God takes his presence and puts it down with us. Don't think my presence is up in the heavens, says God. No, it's right there with you. You can live with it on a daily basis. Your lives can be ennobled and uplifted and made more spiritual by the constant interaction, so to speak, with godliness that resides and inheres in us. And according to tradition, our synagogues, our shuls, are microcosms of the temple itself. That is to say, they're meant to further this concept. They're meant to further the idea that we could take godliness, we could take God's shechina, if you will, God's presence, kiviyachol, and have it reside in our midst and treat it as such. And imagine when you're living with something like that, when you're cognizant of the fact that you're living with it, and you incorporate that into your lives. When you're in the presence of a very important person or a very special person, you act differently, right? Your behavior is you're more careful about the way you speak and the things you do, and you're perhaps more careful about the way you act, your attributes, the words you say, and that's this notion. And it's not just something that's restrictive that I got to be careful because God's with it, but it's on the concept. It reminds us of what a Jewish person can be. What the specialness that inheres of the Jewish soul, the concept of potential. That's the radical concept behind shuls in this week's parsha, and it's something that really is not just about shul. It's about the way we lead our lives. Are our lives lived with an awareness and a cognition that we're in God's presence, and that God is among us, and that that's an incredible power and responsibility? If we live our lives like that, everything we do will be so much more powerful, so much more impactful. Our lives, our Jewish lives, our family lives will be so much better. Let's reflect on this for a minute. Don't just take shuls as this old concept, but let's reflect for a moment on the radical innovative concept of shuls that lies behind the mishkan, the traveling temple, outlined in this week's parsha. I hope you enjoyed that episode of Judaism Today. If you did, please make sure to follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, or check into our podcast wherever podcasts are listened to. And we look forward to hearing from you more.